Hi, so I've actually never done a video for YouTube before with just me talking. I normally like to work out in my videos, so this is new for me. But I wanted to give everyone who's been following me for a little while an update on what I've been doing. I should have probably kept a diary, video diary, this whole prep, but with a baby and breastfeeding and training and teaching and clients, it just didn't happen this time. I actually just finished my last meal, and I'm videoing this at 12:30 tonight, 12:30 in the morning. That's kind of the way I've approached this whole prep since the beginning. Is I'm not going to stress. If I miss a meal, I miss a meal. If it's late, it's late. Having now 10-month-old, still breastfeeding, and he's exclusively breastfed. He doesn't get formula, and he doesn't take a bottle. We gave up on the bottle at about 4 months. He wasn't taking it, and he would cry and refuse, and so we just said, screw it. So, we gave up on that. So needless to say, the beginning of prep was a little mentally challenging, knowing that I was going to have to balance having a baby, whereas I didn't have that before. So a few things that I did differently this time, which I did not do in the past, was I did not carb cycle. One of the reasons was I didn't want to fuss with it. It's not hard to carb cycle, but also with breastfeeding, that does require an extra 500 calories a day. Now that he doesn't eat as often, he only eats maybe 2-3 times during the day, and then he eats a lot during the night. But he's not on me every 2 hours anymore, so I'm sure I don't have a 500 calorie burn anymore. But I did kind of factor in about a 200 to 400 a day extra calorie burn, which is why I actually started my calories around 1800 this prep. If I recall, the last prep for nationals, I think I started at 15 or 16. And I would start pretty low carb right away and carb cycling right away. And this prep, I started at 100 carbs a day, and I pretty much kept that up for almost the whole prep, until about 4 weeks ago. I probably cut it to about 75. My fat was probably around 60 for the most part. In the beginning, anywhere between 50 and 60 was the goal. And then protein was anywhere between 150 and 175. I always do high protein. Keeps me fuller, more satiation factor involved when you do higher protein. And then one of the major factors that I didn't do this prep also was fasted cardio. I did it here and there, weekends when I could do it. With my husband's work schedule, he goes into work really early. And because the baby doesn't take a bottle, kind of needs me in the morning to eat. So kind of his food source for the most part that way. So that was a little bit too challenging to make happen. I did it a few times. One thing I did, though, start to do about 4 weeks ago, about 5 weeks out, was 4 weeks out, 3 weeks out from now, so 4 weeks out, was fasting carbs, though, before my workouts. So I did do some fasted lifts, fasted carb lifts, and so I think that worked out decent. I've never been one to lean out quickly with my upper body. It's always the last thing to come in. Lower body tends to lean out faster, probably because I teach a lot of fitness classes, which usually involves a lot of plyometrics and cycling. So I think it's just my lower body tends to get hit often, and so it leans out faster. And I also only did 11-week prep, which is shorter than my past preps, which were 13. I had decided last minute, so it's not like I really did it on purpose. But it was kind of one of those things where I was debating it, and I was like, you know what, let me just do it. I'm not the most spontaneous person, but sometimes I surprise myself. And so 11 weeks is a short prep. I actually was going to seek help from somebody because controlling your own diet and your own training is stressful. Right before I got pregnant, I was actually about to hire a coach who I was in contact with, and because I didn't really want to control it anymore. It's harder. You second guess yourself, and then you probably actually, you know, sometimes maybe allow yourself to have something that you shouldn't have because you're your own coach. No one else can tell you no. But yeah, I was about to hire a coach, and well, I got pregnant, so I had to call him back and tell him that I wasn't going to compete. So I don't know how many of you have been following me since then, but I did get pregnant while I was prepping for about to start a prep for nationals in 2015. 2014, I placed first in local show in Miami in April of 2014, and then I went right to a national show I went to the IFBB North Americans in August of 2014. So I had about a 6-week phase in between where I built up some muscle, and then I leaned back out again. So it was a rough year, body-wise. And I was small. I'm still small. But I put place 8th out of 14 or 15 girls. So considering it was my second competition and I went to nationals after my second competition, I was pretty happy with it. And then I had put on a lot of mass. And then I got pregnant. So, but yeah, so back to what I've been doing this time. Strength, training-wise, I've been lifting about 5 days a week in the past. Preps, I would usually lift 6. Schedule, baby, just couldn't really make 6 happen. One thing, though, that I didn't do before was teach as much as I am now. I'm teaching anywhere from 4 to 6 fitness classes a week, which are all high-intensity classes. My prep for nationals, I only taught about 2 or 3 classes a week, which were high-intensity, and I did a lot of fasted cardio about 4 to 6 days a week, which was lower intensity. It's a little hard to compare my body now to before, mainly because having a baby changes your body. That's the only way I can describe that. So it's been hard to compare where I am now with where I was a week out from nationals, where I was a week out from my first show. I definitely am bigger weight-wise, and I think it's due to muscle. Probably a little bit more fat too this time, which I'm okay with, being 10 months postpartum. My first show, I think I weighed around 108, probably 107, 108 stage weight. Nationals, I weighed around 110. And this time I'm coming in maybe 112, 113. So I'll tell myself it's muscle, make myself feel better for now. and we'll see what happens on Saturday. So I'm doing this week. I did drop my carbs though, around 75 the last couple weeks, and some days are around 50 or lower. Took out oats a couple weeks ago, so it's pretty much only been sweet potato, for the most part. And so I'm going to keep my carbs below 50, which is low for me right now. I can feel it too, probably with the breastfeeding. I can feel, you know, if I stand up, I'm like, okay, which I never really had happen before. So I'm definitely attesting that to breastfeeding and needing those extra calories, which is why I'm not going to 0. So it's between 30 and 50. So I'm going to keep that up for another couple days. Keep my workouts really high intensity, deplete, try to sweat out as much as I can. I'm really bad with water intake. I've always been bad with water intake. My first show was really terrible with it. For nationals, I was much better. And then this prep, I've been decent. But like yesterday, I had a really bad day. Well, and actually now it's 2 days ago. Saturday was a really bad day with water. And I could tell on Sunday morning when I, woke up and my legs hold a lot of water when I don't drink enough water. You gotta drink water to lose water, in case you didn't know. And so I'm keeping my water really high up until pretty much Friday. And then I'll cut it back a little bit. I probably won't completely cut out water starting Friday afternoon, which is what I normally do, is pretty much cut it out and just take sips till Saturday morning of the show. Have never been lean enough where I don't have to cut out my water. It does make a difference for me. But depending on breastfeeding, I may or may not completely dehydrate. And then I'll usually carb up on Friday. So we'll see how I'm looking though throughout the week. I haven't been nearly as depleted this prep as I have been in past preps. My muscles have stayed fuller, and that's obviously attributed to the fact that I haven't dropped my carbs as low. So I might not need as much of a carb load on Friday as I normally do. So I'm going to play that by ear. So I'll try to keep you posted. Making videos at 12:30 at night. Well, may or may not happen throughout the week. But I will keep you as posted as I can. So, and we'll see what I can do on Saturday. So, yeah, that's all for now.